everybody, my name is Caitlin Timmons. I'm going to be showing you how to make my glazed pork chops and my sauteed green beans. But before I start, I'm going to show you my 6 people. Wave. Okay, before I start, you have to make sure you have all the ingredients, and I highly recommend going to like Walmart or IGA, buy low. I really go to Walmart because it's easier and you can get better things at a cheaper price. This recipe is also for 4 pork chops, and if your family is bigger and they eat more, you can always double the recipe and make it 8 pork chops. There's nothing wrong with some leftovers. I love leftovers, and I hope you do too. And before I start, cooking is one of my favorite things, my favorite hobbies to do. And this is actually one of my favorite recipes to cook with my pork chops. So, to begin, my ingredients for my pork chops, not my green beans yet, is 4 thick cut pork chops. I prefer thick because the thin ones shrink up. And for my seasoning, I use half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, and half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, but I usually don't use that much. I just usually use a pinch of it because it's really, really hot. And the garlic powder calms down the spices from the paprika and the cayenne pepper. And then I also use 4 tablespoons of brown sugar to put on my pork chops to make a nice glaze. And then for the pork chops and the green beans, I also use olive oil to cook them both because vegetable oil is thicker and olive oil is healthier. The ingredients for my green beans, I just use half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and half a teaspoon of garlic salt. Okay. So the steps for making my pork chops, the first thing I do is I take all of my seasoning, all the teaspoons, and I put them in this bowl and I combine it and I blend it up really good, make sure it's all blended together nicely, and I scoop it out and I put it on my pork chop, sprinkle it, put it on both sides. And after I do that, I just rub it in to keep the seasoning in. And if you want to do this step earlier on before you cook to save some time, you can always do that. And after I season my pork chops, I bake the oven for 350. And then I heat for medium high. And put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. As that gets hot, I put both of my pork chops in. I would have 4 and cook that. So I just wait for it and I cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Take a fork, turn it over, cook, and I turn both over and cook. And as they're both cooked on both sides evenly, I take a tablespoon of brown sugar, and I put it on both of them to make that nice glaze. And I cook it on both sides, flip it over again, I place it in the oven for about 15 minutes, and then I get my my green beans ready, put olive oil in, pan, put my green beans in, and I put my salt, my pepper, my garlic salt, and my garlic powder, and as I saute those for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then my pork chops will be ready. So it's perfect timing. So this is how I make my pork chops and my sauteed green beans. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you will be more successful susceptible to new recipes. Thank you.